Court is ready. Good morning, Ms. Chinwiller.
Well,
Good morning.
airport for day because I'm pouring down raining.
Ms. Martina, sorry, Ms. Roselle.
Okay,
please don't talk
I'm sorry,
about the facts of
I'm
the
not
case.
allowed to talk. Go ahead, tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Good morning, Ms. Roselle. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Your Honor, this is Linda K. Roselle, 4A0190103, here for arraignment. Is Linda K. Roselle your true and correct name?
That's my correct name.
And your date of birth is March 21st, 1958? Earlier, I read through your rights to arraignment with you. Did you have any questions about your rights to arraignment? Pardon me?
Everything you said, I understand that.
Right, so do you have any questions about the rights that I was not able to answer?
I do not.
And Your Honor, I've gone over the charge, the maximum penalty, the mandatory minimum penalty. Would acknowledge to the complaint, wait for more reading, and ask enter plea of not guilty.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ionati. I did review the police report, and the court does find probable cause for the criminal trespass in the first degree. Ms. Chinwiller.
Get out of the rain. I got kicked out of my building.
Ms. Roselle, this is not the time right now. We're just addressing some preliminary matters. We're going to talk about conditions of release now. Ms. Chinwiller.
And good morning again. For the record, Cynthia Chenwell for the city of SeaTac. No objection to release at this point, requesting standard conditions, including no criminal law violations and no contact with the airport and rental car facilities, except for legitimate travel purposes.
What? I was busy trying to wrap my mind around what is happening here. I'm being picked on because I suffered from hypothermia because I got kicked out of my apartment because
Ms. Roselle again.
well, asked me. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, because that is bothering me. Is there a way to move that over? Take the cursor, move the Zoom thing out of the way.
Oh, I think she has the alert still on her screen. We can get, if you want to get the officers, they can, or you can use the mouse to click OK.
The action. It says got it or leave media. I don't know if I have a choice.
You can click OK with the mouse.
I have control of the computer. Okay, the song "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees, because that is what.
All right. Well, Ms. Roselle, we're going to be finishing this very soon, so you will be done. So don't worry about that. We're going to just take care of this right now.
Oh, she logged out.
So the city, what happened?
She must have logged out. I think if she hit anything other than OK, it would have logged her out. I'll let the officer know to log back in.
Now you're in a different spot.
All right. Good morning again, Ms. Roselle. So this is what we're going to do today. So the court is going to appoint counsel to assist you in addressing this matter. The city's not asking or seeking for any bail, so you will be released on your personal recognizance. So in addition to you being released on your personal recognizance, Ms. Roselle, you are to appear timely to all your scheduled court appearances. You're not to have
an address. I have a phone.
But you have to appear you can appear in person.
So
you can you must appear.
Today. Am I going to get a date today for my first appointment?
Say that again?
Am I going to get a date? This is what Parkinson's is. We can't express ourselves, especially when we need our medication. Is this what are we doing? Are you going to give me a time for him to be here again?
Yes. I'm telling you that now, and you will get that paper when you are released. So
I'm really good at that.
No criminal law violations. You must appear for all your court appearances. You may not go upon the property of the Seattle International Airport except for valid reasons, valid travel reasons.
Boeing crashes two planes and they're not in trouble. They don't go to jail, but I do. Go ahead. That's pretty sarcastic. But do you understand the irony of that? I'm going there to get warm. Make
Ms.
planes.
Result,
Okay.
again, don't talk about the facts.
All right.
And you are to also not have any contact with the rental car facilities in SeaTac as well, except for a legitimate business purpose.
But
So
I can
you're-
fly out of any other airport, say down to Portland. I can like take Amtrak and fly over to Washington DC or something, right? I just can't go to SeaTac because they're such nice people.
You can use the airport, Ms. Roselle. You just have to, you can only be there if you are traveling.
So I can travel and they can take my money and then I can sit there and be quiet and cry because I'm in so much pain and sick. All right, thank you. I will never.
So your next court date will be February 6th, and that's going to be at 8:30. And is this correct? Is the Port of Seattle? Or is it in courtroom number Port of Seattle?
Oh, it should be at the SeaTac courthouse. But I think for some reason it shows as Port of Seattle. That's how it's labeled, but it's at the SeaTac.
That's a
courthouse.
Tuesday, right? February 6th.
Okay.
Is that right?
February 6th, that is correct.
Have you ever heard of hypermnesia memory? You look it up someday. You might be shocked. Oh, very, very, I have it.
Ms. Roselle, do you have any questions in regards to your conditions of release today?
Corrections, I don't have a car. All I do is go on the bus. And that's where I'm gonna live now because I have no place to live.
Do you have, Ms. Roselle, do you have any questions in regards to your conditions of release?
That's fine.
So we're releasing you today. Do you have any
Where am I
questions?
going from here? Is there a bus?
They'll take you to the
I have a
light
bus.
rail
I
transit,
have
and so
that.
you have access to the bus and to the transit.
What time is it? Because I'm way overdue on my, medication for Parkinson's and ulcer and, PTSD. So when do I leave? And I have
You'll be released in the next 2 hours, most likely.
Okay, so I signed the conditions of release. This concludes this matter.
I have rage issues. I won't do that again what I did in there, and I know you heard me. There will be no repercussions. I have so many lawsuits I could have filed. DESC, but I'm in such bad shape. I need food. I can't drink water because I have a toxic reaction. My doctor knows about it.
All right, Ms. Roselle, have a good day.
Take my medication. Can I at least have that in some sort of a juice?
You will be released today.
I know, but can you see I'm having seizures? Would you do this to Michael J. Fox?
They're not gonna.
All right, that's
You
enough.
have to bring that up with the officers at the jail to get your medication.
That's the thing that the cop kept in my building in my room. They didn't tell me. Before sheriff showed up, he goes up to him like, "Hi guys, how's your day going?" He comes back without my medication. He brings me 15 cans of soup. That's fair. I worked with kids who were disabled and bullied, and I'm like, I'm going to tell this story publicly. Because if I graduated cum laude, got out of 2,000 people at the UW,
Ms. Roselle, if you can grab the
eight on the
officers.
list, 8 for good character and being a good citizen because of how I worked with people with diabetes. This isn't fair. What am I waiting for? The door to open? It doesn't open magically.
No, they'll come and get you. You have to let them know that you're done.
Doors are made for Chilean people, like, Johnny Unitas. Is that a big word? Do you know what quintessential evildoers are? Can you spell it?
Okay, Ms. Roselle, we have other people we have to see today, so have a good day.
Hello? You make an hour. I know social workers make $35 to $50 an hour to sit on their ass and talk to a boyfriend and girlfriend in their library.
SeaTac.
I'm not very good and
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
gonna
gonna
get it out right
I
now.
need something to drink. I cannot.
Gatorade?
Water. Yes.
Alright,
Keep it simple, stupid.
yeah, something like that. Alright, just mix it with water, okay? You wanna talk?
This is Mr. Wilson, your Hunter Caleb Wilson, 3A0669826. Mr. Wilson is asking this court to accept a change of plea to that of guilty. I did review the guilty plea form with Mr. Wilson. I went over the rights he is giving up. I went over the immigration consequences. I believe have satisfied my obligations under Sandoval and Padilla. He has not signed the document, but the officers will give him a way to sign it later, and he said he will sign it later. So we are asking the court to accept this plea.
Okay, and before we go through the plea colloquy, just a few questions. Is this an agreed recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Anadi, and proceed with the plea colloquy.
Is your true and correct name Caleb Wilson?
Yes.
And you are 32 years old and have completed through the 12th grade?
Yeah.
Earlier today, I had a statement of defendant of guilty that I shared with you on the screen. Did I answer all of your questions about pleading guilty today?
I think so. I didn't really have many
If you have a question, you can let me know. But also, did I go through that document with you and read through it with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I went through it, did I explain to you what the city would need to prove in order to find you guilty of criminal trespass in the first degree?
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer yes or no.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I explained to you by pleading guilty that the city no longer has to prove it. And so you're giving up certain constitutional rights.
Yeah.
You understand that you're giving up the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury?
Yes.
You understand you're giving up the right to remain silent before enduring trial and the right to refuse to testify against yourself?
Yes.
You're giving up the right to question witnesses?
Yeah.
You're giving up the right to present your own witnesses?
Yeah.
You're giving up the right to be presumed innocent of the charge unless it's proven beyond reasonable doubt?
Yeah.
And you're giving up the right to appeal?
Yeah.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty for this charge is 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine?
Yeah.
Do you understand that the city's made a recommendation, but the judge doesn't have to follow that recommendation and can sentence you up to the maximum penalty?
Yeah.
You understand the judge can place you on supervision for up to 2 years, or do you pay costs, fees, assessments, any restitution that's owing?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, a plea of guilty can have immigration consequences?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
did I advise you of how this plea would affect you as far as immigration is concerned?
I don't think so. Or yeah, you did, I think.
All right. Did I answer all your questions about how this plea would affect you as far as immigration? Do you have any questions about how this plea would affect you as far as immigration is concerned?
No, I'm not an immigrant, so.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything to have you plead guilty today?
No.
And I wrote a statement for you, but do you adopt this statement as your own that on November 7th, 2023 in SeaTac, Washington, you entered and remained in the DoubleTree Hotel without lawful authority to be there?
Yes.
And how do you plead to the crime of criminal trespass in the first degree?
Guilty as charged.
We ask the court accept the statement of defendant on plea of guilty.
Okay. And Mr. Wilson, your attorney went through the plea colloquy. I just want to make sure you understand the court's position in this matter. So this is an agreed recommendation between you and the city, but do you understand the court does not have to follow this recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
And that I can sentence you up to the maximum, which is 364 days in jail, and impose the maximum fine of $5,000?
Yes, ma'am.
And understanding that this morning, Mr. Wilson, is it still your intention to change your plea to a plea of guilty to the charge of criminal trespass in the first degree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm finding a knowing, voluntary, and intelligent waiver of your constitutional rights, and I will accept your plea of guilty to the charge of criminal trespass. Is there anything you or Mr. Iannotti you'd like to state before we proceed to sentencing?
I can go first, Mr. Wilson. He's been in custody 62 days, not on this case, but on a separate case. He's being held on a county matter. He does have credit, I think, on this case for 7 days, which is the recommendation, but he's not currently working. And he does receive food stamps, so he's hoping the court can reduce his financial obligations. As far as every other condition, as far as the plea is agreed, he's indicated he can abide by the conditions and will not violate what the city is asking for. So he's hoping to follow it. Mr. Wilson, you have a right to say anything at this time about this, but you're not required to.
I'm good.
Okay, just give me one moment to complete the JNS. And we can. And Mr. Iannotti, you stated that Mr. Wilson receives food stamps.
That's correct, and he's not working.
Cynthia, you remind me of Melissa McCarthy. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, I am sentencing you as follows. I'm going to follow the recommendation of the parties. I am imposing 364 days in jail and suspending 357 of those days. You're going to get credit for those 7 days that you have already served in custody. I'm imposing $5,000 fine, but I am suspending all of that fine given the information provided by your attorney that you are currently not working and do receive some state benefits. You will be under the court's jurisdiction for the next 24 months, so you are not to have any new criminal law violations while you're under this court's jurisdiction. You are to have, or you are not to come upon the property of Doubletree Inn, located at 18740 International Boulevard in SeaTac. And you also need to make sure that you update any change of address with the court within 24 hours of changing your residence. Do you have any questions in regards to those conditions, Mr. Wilson?
No, not really. No.
Okay, hearing nothing, this concludes this matter. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Let me get the next guy.
Yeah, I think you just get up and they'll let you out.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
You're welcome.